Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Don't miss out on our comic book creator interviews, including our monthly Chichester chats with comic book legend DG Chichester, superhero movie brackets in our search for the worst comic book movie of all time, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
This is Luca Perich, host of a Totally Turtle sports and gaming YouTube channel, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics Podcast Network.
Here, come down, come sit down, kids. We're going to tell you about the ants and the wasps today. Yes, not birds and bees, ants and wasps.
Yes.
That's right, kids. That's week 2 of our Quantum Mania.
Quantum Mania continues on Marvel Tales.
That's right. Marvel Tales, episode 6. I am Phil. Joining me as always. He should be a baker because he knows all about them biscuits. It is.
Justin the Owl, rising from microscopic to gigantic size.
Whoa! That's right. As promised, we're going to cover Tales to Astonish 44 and 45, the first appearances of Janet Van Dyne, the Wasp.
That's right. The legend herself.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
I know,
was she one of the first Marvel superheroines ever?
Yeah, it's probably like her and Sue Storm, right?
Yeah, I wonder which, because I think Sue came first.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Because Fantastic Four #1 wasn't it? Was it 61 or?
Yeah, I think she actually may be the first. But
Probably.
Wasp has got to be a close second or third at least.
Oh yeah, because I'm trying to remember who else was a female superhero that era. Yeah, Sue, Janet. Yeah, because everyone else came way later. I mean,
yeah.
In Jean Grey, but I think she's after both of them.
Yeah. It was pretty much a boys' club for a long time.
Because those were like the 3 big teams back then. Was the Avengers, Fantastic Four, and the X-Men. Yeah. All the solo books I think were guys. Yeah. Hulk, Spider-Man, Daredevil.
Yeah, and unfortunately, as we'll discover in this episode, Janet is written very much as a 60s girl.
Yes.
In this story.
I know.
Thankfully, she got a lot of development in the years to come. But
I know. I saw that. I was just like, I'm thinking. I'm like, I know it's a different time, a different era, and we have to, look at it through that lens. But I'm like, this is going to be the leader of the Avengers one day.
Right.
Thank God we got some character development.
Yeah. Oh, good old Roger Stern. God.
Oh, I love that. It's like, yeah, that's like the era like Will started reading Avengers and he read Avengers religiously until Bendis.
Yes. Yeah, the Roger Stern, I think that is my favorite Avengers run. I just love it so much. That was when I started reading it too, but going back and reading it still is an absolute delight for me. So, yeah, I think that's probably my favorite.
I mean, but there's so many good. I mean, I was going to say
it's tough to pick.
Pick a George Perez era because there's been a few.
Yes, yeah, I love the one with him and Kurt Busiek too. That's another one of my favorites.
Yes, after Heroes Reborn. Yeah.
Oh,
remember how I said, yeah, you Lilith, no one will touch Heroes Reborn.
Oh,
I broke her down.
Oh, how'd you do it?
I don't know when yet, but for Patreon. She is going to get drunk, and we're going to talk Heroes Reborn.
Oh,
I said you could do it while you're here. I'm like,
Oh, you would have to be drunk to talk about Heroes Reborn.
Oh, that's good. And Patreon, she doesn't have to hold nothing back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I'll be interested in hearing that one for sure. I know that she and I both share it. Loathing of that. Yeah.
Oh, most people did. Most comics fans do.
Yeah.
I was going to say,
she really hates it.
You're invited if you want to torture yourself, but
no, I think it'll be more fun to listen. Yeah. I can't even bear to reread those. I don't think I even read like maybe 2 or 3 of them. And I was like, yeah, this is this is not for me.
To kind of paraphrase Russell, yes, get them Rob Liefeld, big titty cap.
It looked like he was infected with one of those chest burster alien parasites, and it was just about to rip through his rib cage. He was putting on a brave face straight up until the end.
Looked like he was like a stacked woman, but instead of coming straight out, they like went to the side.
You need to go back to your plastic surgeon, ask for a refund. They did a poor job there, Cap.
I know. It's like, big boobs, tiny feet. I mean, he was a Kardashian before the Kardashians were a
thing. Rob Liefeld invented the Kardashians.
Oh!
Add that to his list of sins.
Oh my God! Lilith and I were talking 90s brands the other on.
Oh yes, I love that episode.
Oh yes, the Rob Liefeld jeans.
The first time I saw that commercial, I was like, "You idiot! You absolute idiot! What are you doing?"
I think I put that back in Lilith Hellfire's head. She had forgotten it. I'm like, remember? Remember that national tragedy?
Oh. Yeah, coming out and talking about himself wearing those jeans. Oh God, I was fit to be tied when I saw that. I said, "What a moron!"
Oh, I was because we were talking the one day, and I said I saw Liefeld saying something about being Deadpool's creator on Twitter to one.
Oh,
like
co-creator.
Thank you.
Yeah, he always likes to try to take all the spotlight for himself when it comes to that, doesn't he? Interesting how that happens. Yeah.
I'm like, Fabian Nicieza is a very talented man. Don't be dang him credit, full credit.
That's right.
I think
he's the only reason I go back and read those early X-Force books.
Exactly. All right, so should we get to these Tales to Astonish issues?
Yes, Tales to Astonish, a double-length thriller.
Ooh, that's right, yes.
Double-length Ant-Man super epic, it says on the cover.
Ant-Man and the Wasp battle the creature from Cosmos with a K.
The planet Cosmos.
Meet the flying Wasp, Ant-Man's gorgeous new partner in peril. The cover date is June 1963. So yes, Sue Storm's already been a thing. So
yes.
The creature from Cosmos. That's right. Oh, writers Stan Lee and H.E. Huntley.
H.E. Huntley. Yeah.
Yes.
Do you remember who that was?
No.
Pseudonym for somebody else?
There's a link. I'm hitting the link now. H.E. Huntley is coming up. It's Ernest Hart, it says.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess he went by Ernie Hart, E.H. Hart, H.E. Huntley. So, yeah.
First time I saw that, I was like, Huntley. It sounds like one of my favorite porn stars.
Wow. Born 1910, died July 28th, 1985. So, he worked for Marvel Comics, Quality Comics, and Charlton Comics. It says first work unknown. So, but yeah, he had a bunch of pseudonyms.
It sounds like a pseudonym, the name.
Yeah, it looks like he might have worked at DC too. So yeah, he might just one of his old time guys. So probably did a lot of those 50s
sci-fi. Yeah, definitely.
Tales to Astonish. I could see that.
Yeah.
Once again, penciler Jack Kirby, inker Don Heck. Letterer Artie Simic, and editor, of course, Stan Lee.
Yep.
All right. Returning from another mission, Ant-Man dwells on his loneliness and the loss of his late wife, Maria Pym. Flashing back to the past, we learn that on their honeymoon, Henry and Maria Pym visited Maria's native Hungary, in spite of Henry's fears that her history as a political prisoner would make her a target. Shortly upon arrival in Hungary, Maria is captured by armed men and Henry is knocked out by the butt of one of their guns. Recovering at the American embassy, Pym is informed that his wife has been murdered as a lesson to those who wish to leave the Iron Curtain. Getting the damn commies.
Yeah, the commie threat again rises its ugly head from the east.
Angered, Pym attempts to track down his wife's killers, but only lands himself in jail. He is freed by embassy officials and sent home. There, Pym uses his late wife's uncle's old saying, "Go to the ants, thou sluggard," as the inspiration for devising his size-changing formula and becoming Ant-Man. So we're already retconning that origin of, what's with the ant stuff?
Some creative editing going on there, Stan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Instead of just, I shrunk myself and fell into an anthill. Got drunk one night, shrunk myself, and fell into an anthill.
I love it too that while he was shrunk in that previous story, in his first escapade as Ant-Man, he thought it was a great idea to run headlong into an anthill.
I know. I need to escape these ants. I know. I'll run into their home.
I'll go right into their hive. That's sure to work.
I know how I'll escape this threat. I'll run right where they live.
And I'll dive headlong into a pool of their food. That's sure to stop them.
His reflection over, Ant-Man realizes that he cannot continue his crusade against crime alone and needs a partner to aid him in his work. He begins working on a new set of abilities for his future partner, utilizing Wasp biology, but is interrupted by the arrival of Professor Vernon Van Dyne and his young daughter, Janet. They even say in this synopsis, young daughter, Janet.
Mm-hmm.
Just by coincidence. My wife is dead. I need a partner. I'm thinking somewhere between 18 and 25.
Maybe between 5'2" and 5'6", 130 pounds.
Doesn't ask questions. Yes.
Yeah. Knows how to make a cup of coffee.
Now we got Russell. Ernest Harding. No, that's Justin's pseudonym.
That's my OnlyFans page.
No, you're gonna be on a little only friends platform. Oh my god, she literally looked that up and it was like, no, there's someone already took it.
OnlyFans, yeah.
Oh, the foul owl. How dare you? This man is an innocent.
Oh yes, a paragon of virtue.
My favorite biscuit. I'm a sucker for a guy with a powerful rod. Things in common, cannabis and comics and other things starts with C.
This man is pure, I tell you, pure.
Yes. We're very untainted here.
Wait. Favorite biscuit, Dr. Bong?
Yeah. Especially with his helmet off.
Whoa! I think if he changed the letter, it might be his favorite biscuit. I don't know. Dr. Bong.
Those boobs scare me.
I need more Noel drops.
Yes, that does need to happen.
My fetish is to get touched by a white man with cornrows.
Talking about Osborne. Whoa! You lose inches when you take the helmet off. That's why you measure from the bottom.
Measure from the base.
All right, back to Pym trying to get this young girl. All right, Pym immediately realizes that Janet bears a striking resemblance to his late wife Maria.
Yes, what a coincidence! Yeah,
yes.
He's so lonely, and she looks so much like Maria.
Just as he was reminiscing.
My wrist is ready. I wonder if my wrist is ready for that.
Oh, Nick Larange, Russell, what? No, it's supposed to be duck. Come on.
You know how ducks work, right?
Corkscrew action.
Yeah. But he dismisses any attraction due to her age and apparent ditzy personality.
How old is she supposed to be?
I know it. I don't think they ever name. They never give you an exact age. They just say she's young.
Yeah.
So just for the sake of, I don't want to lose faith in Stanley. We'll say she's at least 18.
Yeah, because that dad's old.
Mm-hmm.
That Vernon Van Dyne is like, he's got to be in his 50s or 60s. He's an old dad.
Yeah. Is this going to be like another Jim and Heather Hudson that we discussed in our Alpha Flight episode? Is she like 18 or 19? Is Pym like 30 or more?
He's a groomer. Pym's a groomer too.
Exactly. Groomer is going to inject her with Wasp. Wasp cells.
I can remake you, dear. I can make you better. Oh God.
This reminds me of supposed to send a drop to you, right, Justin? Oh boy, what's the drop? Now you got me in suspense, kid. All right. Meanwhile, Janet also dismisses any attraction to him due to the stereotype that scientists are boring individuals.
Yeah.
Vernon asked Pym to look at his gamma ray beam device, which would allow him to make contact with another galaxy. Yes, because gamma whatever does not ever blow up in anyone's faces, right, guys?
Yeah, that's never gone wrong in the recent history of the Marvel Universe.
Although I'm trying to remember. Wait, 63. So do they know Banner's the Hulk yet? So I'm like, do they know Hulk's was created by gamma rays? So. Or is that still
I'm sure that
guarded state secret?
Well, I don't know. It seems like with Pym being a scientist, he would have been in the circle to have he would have been in the scientist circle, and he would have been like some of his contemporaries or colleagues probably would have called him up and said, "Hey, did you hear about that gamma bomb blowing up out in the desert?
Oh, that milksop really let it die. Really,
that milksop Banner."
Oh Lord! But again, all these scientists going after guys' daughters. I mean, Banner going after Thunderbolt Ross's daughter. Now Hank Pym's going to go after Vernon's daughter.
Yeah, and Mac Hudson going after Heather.
But it's just like, do you have an attractive daughter? God, Reed and Sue. I mean, I don't know.
Reed and Sue.
At the time, if she was supposed to be young, but there was that Burn story where when they met, she was like young.
She was, so gross.
I know. It's like, yeah, boys, don't marry an old maid.
Yeah, make sure she's just barely out of high school.
How times have changed. Now it's the Lilith Hellfires hunting the 21 to 25-year-old young men of Florida. Job requirements, hung, big muscles, and dumb as a rock.
Yeah, that's right. And stamina. Lots of stamina.
Lubricated eels are the best.
Is that a sentient tongue?
Is that a sentient tongue? It's a giant sized man thing. Yeah, I got that last night.
Again, I wouldn't have the ammunition if you did not hand it to me, Lilith Hellfire. All right. So anyway, it's this
Oh.
gamma ray beam which would allow him to make contact with another galaxy. While Pym finds it interesting, he explains to Van Dyne that his area of expertise is in biology, not astronomy. Realizing Pym isn't interested in the project, Van Dyne and his daughter leave. Later that day, Van Dyne attempts to use his gamma ray beam and inadvertently transports a creature from the planet Cosmos with a K. This creature states that it is an escaped criminal. It uses its powers to kill Dr. Van Dyne and then flees. Janet stumbles upon her father's body. In a panic, she calls Henry Pym, who dismisses her once again as a bored, ditzy girl and hangs up, but later learns his error when he finds out the truth from his aunts. He doesn't believe the girl, but he'll believe the aunts over her. How can I date you? You're dumber than a pack of ants. Oh my god. How big can an ant's brain be? Probably like a grain of sand, and he's like, I'll believe them before her. She might be confused, but not my ants. Not my posse, no.
They've got to be smarter than she is.
Oh, you know that old saying, Justin, bugs before hoes.
I love the part in the beginning where he's reminiscing. He's like,
oh, that's reminiscing.
Hello, Mrs. Pym, my beautiful Maria, my lovely wife.
Oh my god! And then yes, we were covering. We did the Web of Spider-Man issue with Hank Pym, and there was just like a one-off line where he's like, I gotta get back to Maria, because remember in West Coast Avengers, it looked like Maria was back.
Yes, there was that great story where she had returned and she was all like mutated. Her brain had been mutated.
But then they like retcon it in a solo Avengers where it's like she's an imposter or something. So
yeah, I didn't like that. I really liked that West Coast Avengers story a lot. I thought that was fantastic. Because I think that was the first time that, if I remember right, that any of this stuff, this pre-Avengers Tales of Astonish stuff, had been addressed in what was at that time current continuity.
Because I read some of those West Coast Avengers issues first, because I think they actually pull like images from like this issue. Like
it's almost like a page for page like reprint for some of this. Like that one panel where the guy, he's got his head all bandaged up. Like that's also and that part made me laugh too. Phil, he goes, Maria dead? No, she was so young, so beautiful, so wonderful. No, it can't be.
Why couldn't they have killed a young, ugly woman? That always gets me where it's just like, how dare they kill so-and-so? She was so beautiful. It's like, what, an ugly person would have deserved it? I was like, really?
She didn't deserve to die. She was too beautiful.
She's a human being. Who cares what she looked like? And then he tries to go out and get revenge, and then like they show he's like in prison, and so I was like, wait a minute, did he try to go out an Avenger and like get in a bar fight or something? I'm like, what was that about?
Yeah, I don't know. On the verge of a mental and physical breakdown.
Because I was like, had he found them, wouldn't the communists just like shot him dead or something?
Yeah, they wouldn't have messed around.
No, they're not.
We told you not to come looking for her.
But she was so beautiful, damn it!
And I don't have any pictures of her.
You owe me one Hungarian mail order bride. Damn it.
I'm surprised that in all of the years of all this nonsense about them going back and like injecting all these stuff that happened in the background of all this stuff, all these deep cuts and things, I'm surprised they've never gone back and be like, oh, Hank and Maria had a secret child. you know, and
they did the new Wasp. What is it, Nadia? I believe she's Maria's daughter. I think. Hank and
oh, really?
I think that's
And
what. I think that's what it is. Yeah.
She grew up in Soviet Russia.
Yeah, well, I think she's another product of like the Red Room. You know.
Oh
Like Black
God, I
Widow.
love it.
Yeah. But yeah, like the new Wasp. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's her backstory. It's like, yeah, she's Hank and Maria's daughter. Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad they finally did it. I was surprised that nobody had done that yet.
Because Janet took her like, kind of taking her. Oh well, okay, so here we go, taking her under her wing. But yeah.
Well, I wonder too. Like, was there a Wasp during the years when it looked like Janet was dead?
Well, there was that weird period. What was that? Was that Mighty Avengers? There was that one period where Hank Pym like started calling himself the Wasp. Remember?
Oh yeah, that was right. Yeah, and he looked like he grew his hair all out, and he looked
or like a yellow
scruffy
costume and stuff. Yeah,
yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
I am so surprised. I said I'm very surprised that they didn't do this during Secret Invasion. That they weren't like, because remember he got replaced by a Skrull at some point. I'm surprised that they weren't like, oh yeah, that whole backhand thing wasn't like the Skrull.
Oh yes.
Which I mean, they easily could have did. They could have been like, oh yeah, the Skrull fighting his programming or whatever, but they didn't. I was like, wow, I'm surprised. I'm surprised they didn't try to redeem that character.
Yeah. And what about the Hank Pym that tried to shoot himself?
Oh,
remember when Firebird comes in and stops him from blowing his brains out? Was that supposed to be a Skrull too? Because I don't think a Skrull would have done that.
I'm trying to remember when they said he got replaced. I can't remember at what point he did. Of course, Mockingbird got replaced before she got killed. So.
Oh yes, yeah.
So yeah, kids, in Avengers West Coast 100, that was a Skrull Mockingbird in hell. So.
The Skrull was like, what do I do to deserve this assignment? This mission sucks.
Exactly. All right. I was telling you about I'm gonna get a little Hellfire drunk and talk Heroes Reborn.
Heroes
Reborn. I told her, I said, if we do that on Patreon, I said, oh, if we do it around like when she comes up here, I said April would be perfect for what we have planned for this show.
Yes. Oh yes.
That would go along with that quite well.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 big steaming heaps in 1 month.
Oh my God! If you're brave enough, we could even do the whole the Onslaught crossover thing at some point.
Oh man, that's taken on a lot in 1 year, though. I don't know.
I know, but maybe next year. Maybe next year. Maybe next April.
Maybe next April.
Oh my God! But if we set that trend, it'll be like, man, our ratings are pretty consistent. Then in April, they kind of take a dive and come back up in May. Yeah. Although I don't know, I think comic fans, like it when people like crap on, horrible storylines.
Definitely. That's part of the fun too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of that Onslaught stuff. Oh, Teen Iron Man.
Oh yeah. The Iron Lad.
Oh, but you know what else would get that era? Oh, I know how to get Justin. Shirtless Thor.
Oh yes. Yeah, that one wasn't bad. Yeah, was it Mike Deodato?
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's one issue. Yeah, it's like Shirtless Thor. It's like the Enchantress and we're in like nothing but like a bed sheet. Oh yeah, there's something there for everybody. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, there was some spicy Thor moments there.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was towards the end of that. Yeah, and he had lost his powers or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one.
See? Yeah, he's already rethinking it. Shirtless Thor. All right. So, all right, let's get back to this. Where were we? Yes. Oh, yeah, he believes the ants over Janet. All right.
Yeah. The insects are smarter than this girl that he's suddenly infatuated with.
Donning his Ant-Man identity, he travels to the Van Dyne house and finds that Professor Van Dyne was killed by pure fear. He tells Janet to report her father's death to FBI agent Lee Kearns and tells her to go see Henry Pym right after. On his way back to his lab, Ant-Man learns from the ants that there were large traces of an alien form of formic acid, which frightens his ants. Janet Van Dyne arrives at Dr. Pym's lab, where Henry reveals to her his identity as Ant-Man and asks her to become his sidekick, the Wasp. Agreeing, Janet is implanted with wasp wings and antenna that she can use while shrunken down by Ant-Man shrinking gas. As Ant-Man and Wasp, the duo arrive on scene where the creature from Cosmos is on a rampage. Before going into battle, Janet announces that she's in love with Hank, which he immediately dismisses due to her age and his fear of a second tragedy in his love life.
Boo! When I first read that, I was like, "Oh God, that's terrible."
And again, it doesn't bode well. It doesn't speak well of her either, because it's like,
No.
when you were a stuffy scientist, I could care less, but now that I know you're Ant-Man.
Yeah, right. Yikes! Not good.
And it is someone could play with this too. It's like she doesn't even start pronouncing her love until after he's injected her with those wasp.
That's true. After the experiments.
Yeah.
Ooh. Double gross.
So could there be some mental manipulation there?
Yeah. He's taken some notes from the Chuck Manson playbook.
Can you imagine where he's just like, yeah, I wanted to make sure like whatever sidekick I picked was going to be loyal to me, but it doesn't.
Yes.
She has to deal with the fact that it's like, oh yeah, our whole relationship and marriage and everything was based on a lie, and basically like I was manipulated. Oh, I'm gonna go dark. Yeah. There's the way to go.
That's some dark stuff. They could do a real deep cut there if they wanted to.
Mm-hmm. Even with the aid of the military and Ant-Man's army of ants, they are unable to stop the monster's rampage. Realizing what he must do, Ant-Man and Wasp return to base, where Ant-Man devises a compound to counteract formic acid. He then puts the compound into shotgun shells, and with the aid of his ants, succeeds in dispersing the creature by shooting it with a number of shells of the compound. All right, this confused me, because like even like the Wasp is like, well, how are we going to carry the gun if we're ant size? He's like, oh, I'll get all my ants to carry it. I'm like, did we not? Yeah, so I guess we weren't using Pym particles on anything but him and Janet at this point. I'm like, why couldn't he just shrink the gun down and enlarge it when you get there?
Right. Yeah. Wouldn't that have been easier? Yeah. Than having all those ants carry that big shotgun all the way over there.
Because if you can shrink something as complicated as a living thing, like is an inanimate object, shouldn't be that hard, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
They should have just they should have at least threw in a line like, oh yeah, I can't be shrinking that formic acid down. It's unstable or something.
Right. Unstable molecules.
Exactly. With the monster defeated, Ant-Man and Wasp return home, where Ant-Man calls FBI agent Kearns to tell him that the menace has ended. When Kearns asks to be Ant-Man's partner, Ant-Man declines, telling the FBI agent that he already has a partner. Janet thinks to herself that she'll certainly soon make him fall in love with her and will stay with him so that he does.
Boo.
Boo.
Another thing I thought was weird was at the end, after they initially shoot the creature with the antidote thing, the caption reads, "Like rotting tendrils of some evil alien plant, the creature falls, writhing, vanishing, as the formic acid antidote charges enter the noxious substance that was the alien being of the creature from Cosmos." But you don't see any of this.
Mm-mm.
It all happens off panel.
I don't think those are tentacles.
But yeah. Yeah, I just saw this. Yeah, the plot's by Stan Lee and the script is by Huntley. So,
yeah, it's kind of a weird script here.
Yeah,
and it was also weird to see Biscuit Hank. Like, I wasn't expecting to see him looking like James Dean in this issue. After a few issues before, seeing him looking like Tricky Dick Nixon. That was quite a jarring transformation.
Somehow a super suit. I would guess maybe unstable molecules make you sexier. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe.
Oh,
Or
but
maybe it was just the way he was styling his hair that day.
Maybe. This is the first time that Ant-Man's adventures are placed in New York. In Tales to Astonish 42, they had first been placed in Center City.
Center City. Oh.
Yes. Since that city was never mentioned again, and no mention has ever been made of Henry Pym moving his laboratory, it can safely be assumed that to have been retconned.
It makes sense.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Didn't he say he developed that suit himself? But it's unstable molecules. I thought that was a Reed Richards invention.
Well, maybe they were in the same class, and he copied off Reed's homework.
The ants told me.
Yeah. They're like, "Hey, ants, go into the Baxter building and lift some notes for me."
There's another plot you could do. It's like, yeah, those early years, he was just like using the ants to like spy on everybody.
Yeah.
It's like I wanted to make sure you all weren't like threats or menaces. Well, it sounds like you were the threat.
Yeah, pull a Batman on the Avengers.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I've been spying on you all the whole time with my horde of insects.
Hank Pym has the contingency plans to take everybody down.
Yes, yeah.
No. Although it seems like in the modern runs, it seems like they're trying to make Black Panther more and more like the Batman.
It seems that way, yeah. Yeah.
Because like the latest run, which is about to get rebooted again in like a few months, I guess he has like a secret plan where he had like sleeper agents in like every country in case like Wakanda ever had to do anything. So it's like, and everyone's like, I don't like that take. It makes him seem like T'Challa too sinister, but he's not.
Yeah.
So yeah, that smacks to me a very Batman-esque. If he had his own country.
Definitely.
Ugh. Sorry, new desk. I'm dropping everything. Where's my notes here? Early in this issue, Henry Pym worries about what would happen if he someday meets defeat and death. He wants someone to carry on his crime-fighting campaign if he dies. Oh yeah, no. No. Oh, that's the other story. Ant-Man receives a message about trouble, probably a crime at Temple Street, but chooses to ignore it. He believes that the police already handled the situation.
Well, it's good to have faith in the police, I guess.
I guess.
They'll handle it. That's what they get paid for.
Is there a young girl involved?
I could use a new lab assistant.
Who is this maniac? Hank Pym or Hal Jordan?
Hal Jordan.
I of course love Alan Scott.
I of course love Kyle Rayner. All right. So anything else on this one?
No, I think we covered pretty much everything. Yeah.
All right. So yes, kids, hold on to your hats because this time we're going to cover the very next issues.
Yeah. And an honest to gosh supervillain.
Oh, well, yeah.
Sort of.
Tales to Astonish 45 from July 1963. The Terrible Traps of Egghead.
And his deadly anteater.
Whoa!
Is that a sentient tongue?
I was going to say, is he not circumcised? What?
It's a hooded cobra. He's going to spit at you.
Wow! It's like that Seinfeld episode. They're all like, have you ever seen one before? And Elaine's like, yeah, she didn't care for an uncircumcised one. It didn't have a face. It didn't have personality.
I don't know how you guys walk around with those things.
I was in the pool. But writers again, Stan Lee and H.E. Huntley, penciler and inker Don Heck, and letterer Artie Simek. And it doesn't list an editor, but I would assume it's Stan Lee again.
Yeah, or colorist. Who didn't?
Yeah. It starts with recapping Egghead's first battle with Ant-Man and Tales to Astonish 38. We find that Egghead is still living in the Bowery Flophouse where he ended up after his first defeat. There he is stirred out of his rantings when he overhears some crooks talking about Ant-Man and the Wasp. He approaches them, asking them who the Wasp is, and after being informed of his old foe's activities, Egghead talks the two thugs into helping him devise a plot to defeat Ant-Man using his partner the Wasp as bait.
Nice.
Again, it seems like a lot of people end up in like Bowery flop houses in this era too, because it's like, isn't that where we rediscover Namor and that Fantastic Four issue? And
yeah. A lot of flop houses in the early '60s Marvel. Gentrification.
Exactly. Egghead builds a device that scrambles the messages. Oh God, Egghead scrambles the messages.
Nice.
It was a snap. It was easy for him. Over easy. Egghead builds a device that scrambles the messages that Ant-Man's ants transmit and then develops the disguise of Professor Carl Stryker. Get it? Because he's going to strike.
Stryker with a Y.
A zoologist that specializes in insects and begins giving lectures to rouse the interest of Ant-Man and the Wasp. Later, after hearing about a local diamond cutter being given the Middleton diamond to turn into a pendant for Princess Elizabeth, Egghead formulates his plan. Planning a wasp exhibit at the local zoo for the next day, Egghead has the thieves steal the pendant, using his device to scramble the ants' impulses so that Ant-Man doesn't learn of the theft until later. The next day, Egghead stashes the pendant in the wasp nest he has on display in the hopes that the wasp, intrigued by the exhibit, will visit the zoo and hopefully discover the pendant and attempt to get it back. Doing so by herself because she wants to show Hank that she is a woman in love.
Boom.
The wasp is easily kidnapped. As per Egghead's plan, she sends out a distress call to Ant-Man, who comes to her rescue. Lured into Egghead's trap, Ant-Man battles a lizard, an anteater, and Egghead's hired thugs, and manages to free the Wasp, and the two of them defeat the crooks. However, during the battle, Egghead manages to escape to plot his revenge anew.
Of course.
Yes. So thoughts? I love Janet gets captured and Hank, she sends a signal out to Hank. He's like, I told that dopey girl not to do any cases by herself.
I warned her for exactly this reason. Yeah, the part where she's going into that thing and they're looking at the Wasp through those little peepholes.
Yes.
I was like, oh no, that's so bad.
And like every time he complains about her, it's like, you're the one who did an interview, like, you didn't vet her. It's like the first pretty ditzy girl you met. You're like, I'll make you my sidekick.
That's true. He's the one that like wanted a sidekick in the first place and then put her through this whole bioengineering experiment. Like, and now all he can do is complain about how she's disappointing him. It's like, cut her some slack. She's new to this. This is a whole new role for this girl.
It's like, what were her qualifications? It's like, she looked at your dead wife. And it's like,
yeah.
And again, I call BS on that too, because it's like, okay, so this young American girl looks like your Hungarian wife. Okay.
Well, if you look at that previous issue, she doesn't look like her at all. Like Maria Travaia had like kind of like weird kind of grayish hair. at least that's the way it was colored in this issue.
I mean, was he wearing like Pym particle goggles or something?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just
something.
I think he just thought she looked like her because it was 5 seconds after he was reminiscing.
Oh, reminiscing. Yeah.
Yes. Or maybe he should have just been like, she's like around the same build as her, and from a distance, she looks like my wife,
Yes. Yeah.
And then she came off the sidewalk. Oh no, it's not her.
Damn it, Janet.
You look like you could be her much younger sister. Oh my God! And then that whole sliding time debacle. Remember when Captain America? Well, he dated Peggy Carter in World War II, and then
yes,
Sharon. 20 years later, Sharon was the younger sister, but 20 years later, it's like okay,
yeah. 20 years younger. Okay, yeah, that tracks.
That doesn't make Steve look shallow or anything. It's like, oh, you look very similar, except you're 20 years younger. I shall fall in love with you now. My ex's sister. That's not creepy.
That's not creepy at all. Sloppy seconds.
Oh, nice, Noel. Queer eye for the ant guy.
I love that, Noel. That's fantastic.
I mean, we're not getting any fashion. Again, like I said, I was in shock that, Janet Van Dyne wore the same costume 2 issues in a row. It's just like, I'm not used to that.
And she wore it for a while after this, didn't she?
Yeah.
Because she was wearing this when Avengers happened, the first issue of Avengers. She was wearing the same costume.
Yeah, maybe she might not start changing it up until sometime during the Avengers run. Yeah. I can't remember if it was like when they were first on there or when they came back.
I can't remember either.
When he's like, I'll be Goliath, when it goes from Giant Man to Goliath. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, my. Yeah, I know in the last episode we talked about it, but I feel like somewhere there's a website out there that has a gallery of every single costume that the Wasp has had over the years. Every single one. I don't know if it still exists.
I'll buy that.
I could have just dreamed that, but I think it's out there. I remember seeing it sometime.
Oh yes, Wondrous Wasp, altervista.org. It might have it. Is there links here? The Wasp costumes from the beginnings to Avengers 100. Second run from the giant Wasp transformation to the separation from Hank. Oh yeah, it breaks it. Oh yeah, it breaks them down.
Oh my word! Wow.
Yep. I'll have to send you the link to this. Yeah. Well, the first couple are like red and black. So even there's like variations. They're all like the same color scheme.
Oh yeah, this is the site. Yeah. From the giant Wasp transformation.
Oh yeah, you
from
got
the
it.
West Coast Avengers parenthesis to the death in Infinity Gauntlet.
Oh yeah, they break it down by eras, kids.
Wow. I've added a lot to this since the last time I was here. But yeah, what is it? The Wondrous Wasp. So yeah, it has a collection of every single costume that the Wasp has worn.
Oh man, they don't give you. I wonder what the grand total. Wait, I wonder what the grand total is. Is there a grand total? But yeah, there's a lot. I mean, I just clicked on the first. Oh wait, here we go. There's a ton of.
Wow. Yeah, even in the 60s, she had quite a few.
Oh yeah. I remember that purple one with the belly, the cutout for the belly and stuff. Yeah.
Oh wow, look at that. Yeah. The one in the 70s with like the tassels on the vest.
Oh my God, they have Carol Danvers' black costume on there because they're like, oh yeah, I guess Janet designed it or whatever.
Oh really? Oh well,
it said something like that. Yeah.
That makes sense. So funny.
Wait, what's this? Oh yeah, they break them down by issue, kids. Yeah, so
yeah, this is wild. Yeah, definitely check out this Wasp gallery.
Well, I saved the link. I may have put it in the show notes. So yeah, look down at the show notes, kids.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Oh, if we thought of this ahead of time, I would have. Maybe I should try to track down whoever made this website and just be like, "Hey, you want to come talk to them?"
Yeah,
that had to take some time. I mean,
absolutely. Like to have every single one and like the issues that it first appeared, and yeah, that's That's some attention to detail.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, I my hat's off to anyone who take all this time to put that effort into this.
Yeah.
Well, that's like Will. I mean, back in the day, he hasn't updated it in years, but he did the quantumzone.org, which was the Quasar website, which is still there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because it was so funny because like when he told me that was like his website, I was like, you know what? I'm like, I looked at that website like years ago, like before, like years before I ever like talked to him. I was like,
I
it might
love
have been
that.
like late 90s, early 2000s, and I was just like, wow,
That's so cool.
I know.
I mean, I'm glad that the Quantum Zone is coming back too. By the way, yeah, this year.
Oh yes, we're gonna have to do at least an episode on or again,
You
we might
talked
have
about doing at least one, right?
Yeah, on Patreon at least, but we may have to start doing it regularly if there's rumors that maybe he might show up in Quantum Mania.
I heard that. Yeah, fingers crossed. Ooh, that would be so cool.
Yes, better him than that D-bag Adam Warlock.
Yeah, we'll be seeing him soon enough.
I mean, I know in the comics, like me, Will, and our old co-host Matt, we were always talking about like we hated Adam Warlock. He always seemed so damn cocky, and if like Starlin wrote most of his stuff, if Starlin was writing them, he was like the perfect guy. He couldn't, he was always couldn't be defeated and
super powerful.
Yeah.
Basically, Marvel's Superman before the Sentry came along.
Yes. Oh, we can do some Warlock in the Infinity Watch, so I can just be like, F Adam Warlock!
Yeah. That is a good series, though.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's the other thing. I was gonna say we have Silver Surfer on the list. We gotta do some '90s Silver Surfer.
I feel like we had that on 1 month.
Yeah, I think we might. So yeah.
Well, we're doing one of the annuals at least for Evolutionary War.
Oh
and
yeah,
Life Force.
Life
So
Force.
we're actually doing two of the Silver Surfer annuals this year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ron Lim art. Oh my god, yes.
Yeah, it's good stuff. That's the best right there.
Pure 90s goodness. All right.
What did you think of Egghead in this one?
Again, it's just like the mad scientist type.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'd see him when he'd come back later on, like the 80s and stuff, but I'm just like,
yeah.
I mean, again, I guess it fits the time period. And again, you don't want somebody too overpowered for Ant-Man, but I mean, he just defeated an alien from he just defeated Cosmos or.
Yeah. That big giant creature from another planet.
Shotgunned him.
Yeah. And then he had to struggle with this mad scientist dude with a bunch of thugs and an anteater.
Exactly. But no, Stanley or the other guy, they found a way out around the comic code where like, yeah, basically he shot this alien with a shotgun. Yeah. No, it's formic acid. It's science.
Yes, it's science.
Yeah, we murdered
him. We didn't show him dying. That happened off panel.
Did he die or did he go home? I don't know, but we murdered him with science.
He was unmade. Let's put it that way.
Yes. Oh, the rule in this book, he was ugly, so he had to die.
That's right.
And no one cried about it. Yes. He wasn't like that Maria. No, he was ugly.
Yeah. Did they ever bring Egghead back from the dead?
I believe they did. I mean, there was that around the 229 or something in Avengers, but yeah, I think eventually at some point after that they brought him back.
I wonder if he visited the Jackal's clone factory.
Oh God!
Wrote up a contract. Like, keep me about 3 or 4 clones in stasis.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember, but because it seems like I swear there was some more modern story with him. Hold on, let me see. Here's the Wikipedia. Oh wait, there was a second version of the character too. The second version first appeared in Dark Reign Young Avengers #1 from July 2009.
Dark Reign.
Yeah. Arnim Zola later. Oh yeah, that's right. Arnim Zola later created a proto husk of Egghead as part of his corpse core. Deadpool fought and killed Egghead's proto husky, who then had a small bird pop out of its skull.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's right. A flashback in Fall of the Hulk's Alpha showed that Egghead was a member of the intelligentsia.
Intelligentsia.
Here we go. Egghead later turned up alive thanks to a Rejuvetex serum that was used on him. He was behind the AI Avengers that he had computer technician Raz Malhotra activate after placing a neural override on the man. Egghead's activities attracted the attention of Pym in his alias of Giant Man and Ant-Man.
Rejuvetex serum. Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. Okay, here we go. Yes, Egghead is later hired by Darren Cross to work for Cross Technological Enterprises to help control Cross's Pym particle-related abilities. Egghead provides the Yellow Jacket armor for him to wear. Egghead later accompanied Cross and Crossfire into attacking Scott Lang's Trow.
Okay, so this must all be recent stuff that I
Yeah,
haven't read any of that. Yeah, wow. Well, I was wondering if they ever brought him back. I mean, as far as mad scientist villains go, he is pretty cool. And I remember my introduction to Egghead was I think it was a Avengers story where the Masters of Evil. He had like an incarnation of that team.
Oh yeah, wasn't that the Roger Stern era too? Yeah,
I think so. Yeah,
that's what I think. That
80s.
might have been my first exposure to him too. Yeah, and then he did like that trial of Hank Pym and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember it was a weird lineup for the Masters of Evil too.
Yeah.
Like wasn't the Rhino on it and a couple of other people.
Oh, because I know Lilith was saying that like Ant-Man stories are hit or miss with her, and I was telling her, I'm like, oh, you should read that one Avengers issue. It was during like the siege of Avengers Mansion when when Scott Lang and Janet are fighting Absorbing Man and Titania.
And Titania, that's the best. I love that one.
In the middle of the hospital, yeah.
Yeah, and Janet puts the boots to the Absorbing Man. She gets right on him and stings him right in the face.
Yes.
Like right in the ears. Like I think.
I think she gives him the double.
Yes. Yeah. Oh man, it was so good.
Oh yeah. So. Oh yeah, she said, send me a list. So I have to send her that.
Yeah, that's a good one. Absolutely. That's a great Ant-Man and the Wasp spotlight issue for Avengers.
Not in the face.
I remember too, there was a real cool issue of the Avengers in the early 90s where it was just the Wasp and Captain America. It was like a one-shot with standalone issue.
Avengers 340, yes.
Was that it? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just the two of them together, and I loved that one. I thought, cool, why don't we see more of this? Just the Wasp and Cap together. It's so cool.
And it was a cool cover because she was like Wasp size and she was most of the cover, and then you just see like Captain America's chest behind her.
Yes.
And stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was a Ron Lim cover too, if I remember right.
I think so. Yeah. I don't think he even did the interiors, but he did do the cover. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that cover.
Yes, that's the one. Yeah. She's got that blue and white costume in that one. Yeah.
Yes. As she's saying, Cap, I think we have a small problem.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a great issue. I'd recommend that one too for a good Wasp spotlight.
Oh, yeah. All right. So, anything else?
No, I think we've covered pretty much everything in this. Yeah, it's weird to see Janet all doe-eyed and like just smitten with Hank like this. It's so weird to see her written this way. Having been introduced to her in the Roger Stern run of Avengers and having her being such a completely different character then it's weird to read her written like this.
I mean, I guess, yeah, literally, because like in some of those other future stories, I mean, the writers have her saying, I've grown a lot since those early days, and boy, yeah, has she?
Absolutely, yeah.
But yes, kids, like we said last episode, next time, yes, we're going to be covering Marvel Premiere 47 and 48 next time with the first appearance of Scott Lang.
Yes. Speaking of Scott Lang, we'll be talking about him.
Yes.
His debut.
And again, yes, in 2 weeks, we'll finish out the month with Avengers 8 and 11, featuring the first appearances of Kang.
Yes, Kang the Conqueror. And
again, if you need more Ant-Man content, yes, go listen to Ultimate Spider-Cast this month also. So Lilith and I are covering some of that, yes.
Yeah, it's Quantumania all month long.
Oh, yeah, because the first thing we did for the month was Marvel team up 59 and 60 was Hank as Yellow Jacket and Janet as the Wasp. Yeah.
With Equinox, the thermodynamic man.
By Claremont and Byrne.
Claremont and Byrne. I love that one. And I love Equinox's mom with those rockin' bell bottoms and that big giant blaster. So
yes, it was the 70s kids.
Great issues. Those were both great.
All right, so so send us your thoughts on all of the. Okay. You're gonna have to get a hold of Wrestle because the first week of March we're gonna be doing those first appearances of the Thunderbolts, including the Hulk.
That's right.
So, yeah. Tell
my co-host from Gamma Charge, the strongest podcast there is, will hopefully be joining us to talk about the first appearance of the Thunderbolts.
So yes, lots of good stuff coming, kids. March is rocking, man. We got Thunderbolts, then we got the first couple issues of X-Man with Nate Gray.
Yes, which I haven't read. That's going to be a first for me. So I'm doubly excited about that.
Right smack in the Age of Apocalypse, yes. Avengers Infinity, Spider-Man 2099.
Yes.
Yes.
Great month.
And the end of March, that's where we're doing that Avengers JLA crossover with Will. Yes. And we'll cross over with this in Sector 2814, the Green Lantern podcast.
I'm excited for that too. It's been a while since I've read that.
Yes. And then after all those, we'll get to our special in April.
We're keeping it a secret until April 1st.
You're either going to love us or hate us, but either way, come and tune in. All right. So, send your thoughts, CapesandLunatics@gmail.com or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, follow Marvel Tales on Facebook, on Twitter, Capes and Lunatics on Instagram, Capes and Lunatics Podcast Network on Hive, the YouTube channel. Again, smash that subscribe button so you don't become another agent of Smash and smash that subscribe button on YouTube. Help Lilith Hellfire live her dreams of giving to each 69.
Smash it.
And again, the easiest way to find old episodes, the YouTube channel. So, and of course, the Patreon. Please help support us.
Join me in the Patreon Elite. You get all the perks, all the good stuff, all the bonus episodes. There was a great one in January where Phil and Lilith did this, that, or the other, which was so hilarious. Listening to that, I almost fell out of my chair onto the office floor. So,
yes, there's a few questions I had to throw in there. Just yes, kids, subscribe now so you know what Lilith Hellfire answered when I said top or bottom.
Yes, that was one of the ones that almost put me on the floor.
Oh, it's so funny. We spun the wheel, did them randomly, but two of the best ones were right at my last two questions. Like, oh, this worked out perfectly. So subscribe to the Patreon now. Get the early access to creator interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats.
I got the good mic out for you guys.
And don't miss when Justin's going to join us sometime this year for this, that, or the third.
Yes, that's gonna be fun too.
Oh, we gotta go outside the Capes and Lunatics too. Oh, we gotta get Rain here. Russell,
get Noel in there.
Oh no, yes.
Well, we got to talk about our mystery patron too at some point.
Oh yes, I gotta message him because I know nothing about no one I know, so.
Maybe they'll be interested in doing
maybe. Yeah. That would be a nice way to learn about our new patron. Yeah, because I know nothing. All I see is I forget what the name is, but all I see is a name. So could be anyone. Could be an alias.
Could be Kelly Puckett.
Ah,
It's like, I heard you guys talking about me.
Wolf and I said it might be Brian Cronin from CBR who, like, magically comes up with articles after we discuss stuff a lot of the time. I said, I can't fault him if Ant-Man and Wasp stuff starts coming up because the movie's out, but we'll see if we get certain articles after April.
Yeah.
On a certain crossover event.
Nobody's help Brian.
All right, so subscribe to the Patreon. Also pick yourself up in Capes and Lunatics and Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks merch. Find it all at Linktree, linktr.ee/Capes and Lunatics. All right. Justin, the man, is always here every week. He is on We Are the Night, the Batman
podcast
at the end of every month. And also, he does other podcasts outside of here. So, Justin, what podcasts can these people follow you to?
Well, in addition to the aforementioned Gamma Charge, the strongest podcast there is, my good pal Russell and I also co-host Tomes of Evil, a comic book supervillain podcast where we talk all about the bad guys. And together with our good pal Ray, we talk about the Predator in Predator and Prey, a Yahucha podcast. And my solo project, quote unquote, The Lost Library of Legends, is almost ready to come out. It'll be ready probably before we start our shenanigans in April.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. I'm thinking hopefully in the next month or two it'll be ready to debut. But in that show, I'm going to be talking about kind of unsung comic book series, limited series, ones that fell through the cracks over the last 30 years that haven't been given enough exposure.
Episode 1, NFL Super Pro. Can't believe that existed.
How many issues did that last? Do you remember?
I forget. I think it got into the teens, I believe.
Did it really?
Yeah. Me and Will were talking about this the one week. Yeah. Oh yeah. We talked about it from the Quantum Zone. That's a lot far back, but
NFL Super Pro. Oh man.
Even in the 90s, when I was willing to read anything, I'd see that on the newsstand. I'm like,
yeah, no.
It's a short-lived comic series published by Marvel Comics, centered on Phil Grayfield, an ex-National Football League player who survives a freak accident and wears a near indestructible football uniform. Okay, the series, 12 issues. Oh no, 12 issues and one special. So.
Oh, okay. Well, it lasted a year. That's still impressive.
Yes. And probably the only way, because it says written by Fabian Nicieza. So that's probably
okay. Well, there
one
we
of the
go.
saving graces.
Yes. If he wrote that, I would actually read some of that.
I know, because I don't think they reprinted that anywhere. Because I remember trying to buy it on the series. I was gonna give it a chance. I was gonna buy it on eBay the one time, and I forget one guy selling it wanted some astronomical number. I'm like, really? For that?
Oh, no. If Fabian wrote it, though, I would read anything that he writes. So yeah, I'd check that out. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, kids. It was from 1991 to 92. So
that's so funny. NFL Super Pro. I forgot all about that.
Yes, because I forget I think it's the first issue. Of course, 90s. You had Spider-Man showed up in your first issue. So
of course. Well, he had to take Mary Jane to a football game.
I think Captain America was on one. I forget if anyone else was, but I remember at least Spider-Man and Captain America showed up in that thing.
Love it.
All right, so
Superior Puss.
Is that a sentient tongue?
So, all right, kids. Thank you for joining us again next week. Marvel Premiere 4748, the first appearance of Scott Lang.
Yes. Ant-Man 2.
Something a little more current.
Was
that 70s or 80s? So, yeah, lots of 60s. All right, kids. Remember, come back next week. Remember. Keep it small.